Hi there everyone. Hope everyone attending this weekend's Northern Shooting Show is having fun. Sorry I can't be there. Something new here. This is a case from the new rifle, the XV2 from Edgar Brothers Arms. Of course you'll have seen my little preview from the British Shooting Show back in February, where I met Graham from Edgar Brothers Arms. Edgar Brothers had launched Edgar Brothers Arms 2 days earlier, and then the very next day they launched this new rifle. So we've got decent standard hard case, 2 clasps on each side, carry handle, there's some shallow eggshell foam in it. Doesn't take a scoped rifle unfortunately, but let me show you the rifle. Here we have the XV2. This one is olive drab green. It's got black furniture. I have, during the course of this review, had 2. This is the second one, the second XV2 I've had on loan. And the first one was all bronze, anodized shroud and anodized action. This one, anodized green shroud. But I believe the action block looks more like it's sprayed or powder coated. We have a 500cc bottle, a 48 centimeter shroud, containing a 38 centimeter barrel. So you've got a 4-inch cavity here, and you've got a series of springs and baffles, so there's some built-in sound suppression. So we have a small knurled thread protector on the muzzle, and if I unscrew this, within that is then what looks like a spring-loaded attachment, but then that's loose, that's synthetic, and there's a small chamber there. So basically this feels like it is sprung, so there is an internal baffle system there, and this is probably internal suppression at the muzzle end of the shroud. Although Graham tells me there will be a 1/2-inch UNF adapter for anyone wanting extra sound moderation. So we have the caliber 177, serial number. I've got a nice grippy rubberized grip, which also has a storage cap in the base. We've got a fixed synthetic shoulder stock. Now, it's fixed as in it's not hinged, but I dare say there will be hinged versions available. But it's got 5 different length of pull or LOP adjustments. So that's 5 positions for the length of the shoulder stock, and 10 height positions for the height of the comb, which is fully ambidextrous. Although there are 0, 2, 4, 6 and 8 marked on the right hand side, there are definitely 10 height positions, firmly lockable via this finger adjustable knob. There's a decent rubber butt pad, but that's not height adjustable. But yeah, you've got plenty of adjustments there, and you've got a few different positions where you can attach a rear sling. The side lever has a non-rotating drop-down biathlon handle, and it's right side only because there is no slot on the left side. We've got a Picatinny rail, which is broken for the magwell. The rifle is decockable, but there's no anti-double load. Edgar Brothers kindly loaned it with a Bushnell Match Pro 6-24 by 50 scope. Excellent scope, first focal plane. We've got a 500cc bottle. It's an aluminium bottle, and this block here will contain the regulator when regulator models are available. For the time being, we've got a very clear manometer, and can I just say, you've got an amber below 100 bar at the moment, green from 100 to 250, and red above that. Now, upside down there, maximum pressure 250 bar. Straight away, following my extensive testing, and I've put something like 750 pellets through the 2 rifles I've been reviewing, and my recommendation is amber from 80 bar and below, green from 80 up to 180, amber from 180 to 250, and then red, because basically you do not want to fill this fella above 180 bar because the power then drops. So the output is phenomenal. As I say, I've had over 600 shots out of one fill. This is one of the very early models, and the team at the Edgar Brothers Armory in Macclesfield, they've already been tuning rifles, and they're getting up to 1,000 shots out of one bottle fill at a low 11s foot-pounds. It's just perfect. So this fella, you really can shoot all day in it. Now, we've got a 10-slot Picatinny rail here underneath the bottleneck, and the balance point is about here. So with the alloy bottle at the front and the barrel and a synthetic stock at the rear, the rifle is quite front heavy. It's not really one for me, being disabled, for toting around my permissions, but you can attach a bipod or a tripod underneath here and have it freely pivoting around easily because the centre of gravity is about here. Or for long range pest control or bench rest shooting, I would attach an under bottle Picatinny extension and have a bipod about here. The trigger is a cross trigger safety, quite conventional, and the Picatinny razor rail does not have any MOA adjustments built in, so there's no incline built in. On the left hand side, we've got max pressure 250 bar, 3625 psi. Now on the left side, we've got a rubber cap covering the fill probe, and this is not a conventional Forster fitting, but I just mentioned the rubber cap because it's a bit of a tight fit, so I would apply a little bit of silicone grease to that fill nipple to ensure you can get this rubber cap easily on and off. And I used one of the Eagle Vision tubes of silicone grease. Thanks Masood for these. So with the rifle, you'll get a test card like this with a downrange group. The production versions will include the range at which this group was shot, and here Elton has done a 5-shot chrono string, 11.45 foot-pounds pass. Speaking to Graham, what they're also going to do, following feedback from myself and their own testing, they're going to include a shot string card, which will basically take the form of a standard PCP power curve for a non-regulated rifle, and it will indicate you don't want to fill beyond 180 bar, and you don't want to let the pressure drop below around about 70 bar, to get the optimum performance. So that will be included with all future XV2 rifles. You also get an accessory box. So accessories wise, you get a spoke fill adapter, because this is not a Forster fitting. This is slightly different. This male fill nozzle is not a standard Forster connector. The supplied fitting, I'm just going to put the camera down for a second. You press down hard on the end here while pulling this collar back, and it's a spring-loaded fit. So if I show you, if I now pull the collar back just gently, boop, and it springs off, pops off, spring assisted if you like. And here in my left hand is a standard Forster connector, and you can see there's a definite difference between the two fittings. But it's a standard male thread onto which I added a best fittings QD adapter, and that's what I've been filling it with during my testing. You also get a pair of magazines, and these two are 14-shot 177 magazines, or it's 12 shots for 2.2, and you get a little bag with some spare O-rings, an Allen key, and what looks like a burst disc for the bottle. To fill the magazine, you rotate the rear faceplate, this Perspex faceplate, rotate it clockwise following the arrow, drop a pellet into the first chamber, and then you freely rotate the faceplate anti-clockwise, dropping pellets into each of the subsequent chambers. You have to fill it that way. If you turn the faceplate anti-clockwise and start filling the chambers, the magazine will not work while the rifle is being used. So you basically have to empty it and start again. And once the rifle is cocked, the magazines slide in the rear first from the right hand side, and as you can see, there's a raised rim on the forward face of the magazine that corresponds with a machined slot in the front of the breech. Okay, that's your rundown on the basic rifle functions, and I'll pop up the weight and the maximum and minimum length up on the screen here. The maximum cocking effort using the side lever is about 6 pounds, 6.5 pounds, which is fine. And there is a slot underneath the trigger guard for adjustment, But the manual, which by the way, got all pages of the manual in my Flickr album. There's a link down below in the description to that. The manual doesn't include an instruction of exactly how to adjust the trigger, but there's an Allen key in the box and there's a slot underneath the trigger guard for a trigger adjustment. The trigger out of the box breaks about 1.5 pounds, which is fine, although the second stage is quite long. So I have Callum and Tony and Bri, I'll have their comments coming up very shortly. They all commented that the second stage of the trigger was a bit long and mushy for their liking. So a shorter, crisper second stage would be nice. We'll see if that adjustment is possible. Let's see what everyone's thoughts are on the range. One thing I'll say is that we found the bronze rifle that received first for review. Loved JSB exact pellets, 8.44 grain, 177. They were 4.52 millimeters, grouped very nicely downrange at 25 meters. In fact, Tony said, "Bloomin' heck, they're all going in the same hole." So, legend. We did find with this green model, the olive drab green rifle I've got here, kind of didn't like the JSB exacts at all, and it grouped very tidily with RWS Superdomes. Could be that these two early rifles both have different barrels within the shrouds, I'm not sure. But for sub £500, it's a fantastic value. And if you're buying one, I would just try a few brands and see which pellets it prefers. Right, onto the range. You were saying cocking-wise, it feels nicely mechanical.
Yeah, it's got a nice mechanical feel when you bring it all the way back. It's a hard stop, and there is some audible feedback, which helps a lot when you're actually on top of things. For me personally, the trigger feels a little bit soft. There's not much for the way of feedback there. Well, it does shoot well.
It shoots well, brilliant.
I'm very happy with how it shoots. It's very nice. For me, the two downsides would be the adjustable, hopefully the adjustable trigger. Feeling a bit mushy and long in the travel for me. Yeah. And the play in the stock here.
A little bit of play in the stock, but you've got the stock adjusted for your length of pull as well.
Yeah. Maybe something that's, it's limited to certain positions. But there is a little bit of play between these two parts here. Yeah. That results in an upward movement between the two there.
Yeah. But overall, you're quite impressed?
Yep.
Excellent.
Very nice rifle, especially for the price.
Thanks, Callum. Thanks for your opinion.
No worries.
Well, I wouldn't have expected that.
So what do you think, Bri?
It shoots better with super domes than it does with GSBs.
Okay.
Which I've always found to be a bit an unusual thing for a PCP, but yeah, it's maybe just a tad pellet fussy.
Yeah, and the trigger's a little bit of a long trigger pull, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's not the crispest.
It does seem to go on a bit, but that said, it works.
Yeah.
It works. You can put the pellets in the same hole.
And you've got an adjustable length of pull on the stock, adjustable height cheek piece, and you've got a bottle that you could shoot all week.
What was it you said earlier? 600 pellets per?
Well, I got 600 pellets this morning out of one charge, and Edgar Brothers Armourers have already tweaked the version they have in the office right now in the shop, and they've had 1,000 pellets out of one charge of that 500cc bottle.
2 tins of pellets from one charge.
Yeah. Something else. Okay. Something else for a rifle, you get a couple of quid change from 500 quid.
I don't generally like these AR style handgrits, but to be honest, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It just seems nicely proportioned and nicely grippy.
It's definitely grippy, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
The balance point is forward of the action because of the alloy bottle weight and the lightweight lightweight stock at the back.
Yeah.
So that takes a bit of getting used to.
I think if I was shooting that in the field, I'd either want gloves or a little cover on that.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really irritating with bare hands in cold weather. But
yeah.
I thought the fill probe was a bit a bit sort of too sticky uppy there, but
Yeah.
I kind of like it as a thumb stop for standers. I think I'm sure it's not a design sort of feature, but
Yeah.
it works well for me, that.
I think it'd be a nice rifle for bench rest. A little bit heavy for me for carrying around on the farm. And a little bit long.
You know you've got a lump of metal in your hand. I don't think it's overly heavy. It just feels sturdy enough and weighty enough to have a bit of quality to it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thanks very much, Bri.
I like it.
Excellent. Cheers. Thank you. Okay, so that's the XV2 from Edgar Brothers Arms. Pretty brilliant rifle for £500. You fill that bottle up and you'll be shooting for days because you've literally got enough air to last best part of 2 tins of pellets from one fill, which is pretty phenomenal. For those who want plink for days or to do a lot of pest control without going back and forth to the car to fill up the bottle, this could be the rifle for you. So very affordable, very solidly well built, and apart from Callum reported there's a little bit of a play in the cheek piece. So thanks very much for watching, enjoy your shooting, and I'll have another video up hopefully tomorrow of some thermal pest control recorded on the Hype Micro Stella SH50 scope using the Air Max Arms crate. Great rifle and scope combination, and it really plows through the rat. That's coming very soon. Thanks for watching. Take care. Cheers. Enjoy your shooting. Thanks again to Graham, Chloe and the team at Edgar Brothers, and Will and Linton and the Armourers for all their help and assistance and patience while I've been doing this review. Loads more coming soon.